You are listening to the Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast following a huge third period rally for your Ottawa Senators. They beat the Edmonton Oilers and sweep a 2-game trip to Alberta. I'm Ross Levitan. With me as always, Brandon Piller, and we've got our winning selective guest as well. This is the third time he's joined the Postcast, all after victories. It's Lalim's Martian. Pilsy, starting with you, though, your overall impression after a big victory on the road.
What an amazing win. That was the crispiest third period we've seen all season long. 5 goals in the third period, and this team was just firing on all cylinders. Martian, we were talking about it at the intermission. How are we feeling? We needed a big start for this team, and they gave it to us.
Yeah, listen, I'm a Patriots fan, so I was ready for a double disappointment night.
Yeah.
And after the first 2 periods, I didn't know what I was going to expect here. But sure enough, these Sens, they came out of nowhere with that beautiful third period comeback.
Let's run through the scoring summary for anybody who's listening this the day after. Of course, you can find the Postcast wherever you download your podcast, but we appreciate everyone joining us live. Tons of Go Sens Go in the chat tonight as it's just another good
chat is on fire for this late. Ooh.
Why wouldn't it be? It's a Saturday full of sports. We're 3 minutes to midnight Central Time. That means we're well into the evening where you guys are, and it is just unbelievable to have not one, but back-to-back great efforts, reminiscent of at Florida and then home against Tampa, where they took care of those 2 powerhouse teams. And yeah, this is awesome how many people are alive in the chat for how late it is. So let's keep it going. Josh Norris, we'll get to really the story of the night, but he opened the scoring with his 15th of the season on the power play. Then Zach Kassian ties it at 1. The Oilers go up not by 1, but 2 in the second period. They take a 3-1 lead to the third, where it's Adam Gaudette first, then Alex Formenton, then Artem Zoom, all in a span of 8 minutes time for Ottawa to take its first lead of the night. However, Darnell Nurse got his third of the season to tie it back up, but Josh Norris once again, and this is the goal I want to get into. Pilsy, take us through the Gambrell assist, the Cody Ceci assist. This goal had a bit of everything.
Hey, I needed to be locked on to Cody Ceci tonight, and there was a big reason, because that was a TSN turning point, really. Cody Ceci gets the high sticking, and on the replay, guys, I'm not even sure if that, did he even touch Norris's face? I think he got pure visor on that one. He just scooped Josh Norris's helmet right off. I guess it busts the strap or whatever, so you can't use that helmet, but it's a power play. You're not going to get Josh Norris out there to start off a power play. Yeah, right. Watson gives him his bucket. He says, okay, Watson, my head hasn't taken as many hits as yours. I can't fit in this thing. Gambrell gives it to him. And he goes out there, and guys, I don't know about you, but the second he was out there with Gambrell's helmet on, I was like, he's going to score. Obviously.
When you saw the guys laughing, you knew the vibes were incredible. It was just, they were just bound to score. They were just like, you've never seen such incredible vibes out of the Ottawa Senators this year. They were just like, we're laughing our heads off. It's a tie game. There's 5 minutes left in the game. We got this. We're laughing. We got someone else's helmet on. And sure enough, the guy with the different helmet on is the guy who scores, right? So
it always works out that way. Always.
Doesn't Gambrell only have 1 goal in the year?
Yeah, that's Shorty, I think, right?
So that helmet's done just as much good for Norris as it
I think that's why they were laughing. They were like, this helmet's never seen power play time.
Yeah, for real, honestly.
That's amazing. Was there any point in this game you thought it was over? We'll start with you, Martian.
Definitely. As soon as Tyler Yamamoto scored, I was like, they're down 3-1. I'm like, this could easily go south quickly here. We saw it last year, 9 times.
Yeah.
So as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, here we go. Deja vu for sure. But I think definitely the factor tonight was Matt Murray. He was making saves that you haven't seen him make since he's been in Ottawa Center, and that's for sure. He was making game-saving saves, which is something that you can't say for him. Rebound control was good tonight. Really happy with his performance. It's looking like he's on his way up. It's crazy how it's only been 2 games and already we're talking about how much better it feels with him. It's like the switch has been flipped.
Yes, and it needed to be for Matt Murray. And even though he lets in 4 goals tonight, but to me, it's the 16 shots against in the first period. He makes 15 saves on those and no chance on Zach Aston. That's a great shot across the body on an even better feed from Draisaitl in the slot. And they were so close to killing off that 5-on-3 power. I mean, they killed off the 5-on-3, but that entirety, there was, I think it was 1:10 there, and right before the end of the second one. That was even more the cheeky call that I didn't really like either. So it sucks that that's the one that cost them. But you're right about Matt Murray. Lots of calm saves tonight, and that's fantastic. Get this stat from Sean Foisey. Only the 7th time this season McDavid was held off the score sheet. That in itself has to feel good for the Ottawa Senators. And this decor was fantastic too throughout the night. Like, yeah, Yamamoto snuck through on the breakaway goal. He got through Brandstrom and Brown, but otherwise, I thought Brandy had a great game. He was moving pucks. He can snap it around with the best of them, eh? Like, there's not a pass that he doesn't have the confidence to have or the skill to pull off. What did you think of Brandstrom's game tonight, Pilsy?
Yeah, I thought he had a decent game. Obviously, that's a tough look with Yamamoto, especially since Yamamoto slips up and still beats him. But there was weird positioning there. I'm not sure why Brandy was kind of
flip. It was a weird flipped puck. Like,
he wasn't ready for it to land like that and stuff. So, you know what? I'm not going to harp too bad on the guy for that one. But I thought he did a really good job of his stick position too. I noted 2-3 times where a good stick by Brandy broke up a 2-on-1 play, a good cycle pass or something like that, and then the puck's going the other way. So I really think Brandy's starting to pick up some confidence, and you're starting to finally hear DJ Smith say good things about him. So those two things are going to go hand in hand, and very similar to the Matt Murray situation, right? DJ Smith finally giving Matt Murray a boost of confidence. Look how it's paying off.
Pilsy, how much credit would you give to DJ Smith for shaking up the lines going into the third period?
A lot of credit. That ended up working out big time. Like that, who would have thought? But Tierney and Gaudette, all you needed to do was put them with Alex Formenton, and they were hot. Like, they scored 2 quick goals. And Formenton, boys, yet again, 2-point night. Back-to-back 2-point nights. Like, this guy's getting it done. And Gaudette, say what you want, but when he's put in positions offensively where he has a chance, he's got some moves. Like, that backhand was a real nice backhand, and Skinner just barely got there to make that save on Formenton goal. Luckily, Formy's right there to bang it home.
Yeah, I think DJ Smith has been watching some Bruins games, because you see it with them. They split up the perfection line. They moved Pasternak down to the second line. All of a sudden, they're 8-1 in their last 9 games. So, you spread the the skill around a little bit, and this is what happens. The depth starts to show. The first line, we know, can operate really well when you just have those top 3 guys together. But give Stützle someone to play with, like Batherson and Paul, and then all of a sudden you got secondary scoring, and that's what you need to have to win. Like, you see it all across the league. You look at teams everywhere; they front load their teams, and then they realize they need to spread their wealth around. It happens all the time. So,
let's draft our Central standouts. I like the way we did it yesterday, Pills. Here after the Calgary game, we each drafted 2. Let's get the Martian involved in 2 each after this game. I think we can easily identify 6 guys who deserve some stick taps following a huge 6-4 victory in Edmonton in a game where the Oilers outshot Ottawa 37-26 and won 55% of their faceoffs. But Ottawa's power play went 2 for 3, 34 hits. They were certainly committed on the forecheck. All right, Pilsy, we'll let you, or should we let the guest start? You think we should let the guest start?
No, go ahead.
All right, Pilsy, lead us off. It worked well last time.
All right, well, I feel like I already mentioned mine, so might as well just get this one over with, and it's Alex Formenton. Like, not only did he get another 2-point night, but he was creating offensively. He had another great chance on the PK. I thought he was one of the guys out there. You noticed him every shift. Like, obviously, when McDavid's on the ice, he's the real champion of speed, but when it's just Formenton and no McDavid out there, he can get by guys, and he just had another great game, and I think he's really starting to show that he could be a top 6 forward, I think, if you get him with the right guys. Like, and his speed on the penalty kill is such a good tool to have for a guy like him, so I just love seeing him rack up points. Another multi-point night for the guy.
9 points in Alex Formenton's last 8 games.
Oh,
That
crispy.
can't be stressed enough. Super impressive, extra crispy for Alex Formanton. You think he had a Red Bull before tonight's game? Guys, the fastest dude on the entire planet. You know who was the best shutdown defenseman on the entire planet today? And I'm leaving a nice ripe one for you, Martian, but I'm going with Artem Zub because he was on McDavid all night long. Didn't give him any space. He had an active stick in the neutral zone. I thought that was huge in putting McDavid in situations where he couldn't use his speed. And when McDavid tried to cut in the middle, the stick was not allowing him to get to full speed. There were 2 times where he almost got through. One was called offside late, and then the other one, he kind of fumbled the puck into the corner. So I just wanted to give some shout out and some love to Artem Zub because, man, not only does he come through defensively, but then he scores what was the go-ahead goal at the time. So he has a goal, 2 hits, a block, a takeaway, and led all Senators defensemen not named Thomas Chabot in ice time, played over 23 minutes in tonight's game. Huge effort for Zub.
Yeah, and you're leaving the ripe and juicy one, like you said, for me. I was going to take Zub if you didn't, but just saying. So I'm going to go with the ripe and juicy one here, Josh Norris. So obviously with 2 goals tonight, what a great performance from him. One in the power play. He had just shy. Both were on the power play, yeah. And from his office, right? When he's in that zone and he's got a look, it's pretty much game over most of the time, it feels like. So great job from him with the 2-goal effort there, and also with just shy of 20 minutes of ice time. So he was a real important part of the Tays win, I thought. So I'm going with my boy, Josh Norris. And
even though the Senators lost the faceoff battle, Norris, as he is so many nights, well over 50%, 55, just a stud. His 6th and 7th power play goals of the season. Last year in 53 games, he had 6. So he sets a career high in power play goals, and that career high is only going to get set next year, and then again the year after, and again the year after, because we've seen it time and time again. That one-timer position, if you can shoot it, it doesn't matter that the other team knows it's coming because it's so hard to stop. So great call, Josh Norris, and let's do snake style. So Martian, you get the next one here as well.
Okay, great. Well, I'm gonna take the other low-hanging fruit here, and that's obviously Matt Murray. He didn't make all the saves, boys. You know, allowing as many goals as he did, you don't look at that and say that's a great game from a goaltender. But he made the ones he needed to make, and he gave them a chance to win. So that's all you can really ask from a goaltender. I thought he really battled hard tonight. He made a few unbelievable saves, some real momentum swinging saves. So you got to give credit where credit's due. I think that swing down in Belleville might have actually woke him up a little bit, because a guy like that, like, it seems like he kind of needs that wake up call. Maybe the fact of the matter is, it didn't seem like he was connecting with the team as well as he could have either. But now all of a sudden he looks like, you know, we see those little clips from the dressing room. Even that's where he's starting to look engaged. So I'm happy to see that, and I think Matt Murray deserves a little shout out here too.
How about the save he made in the first period on Connor McDavid? The desperation to get across. That's something that maybe we didn't see so much. Yeah. And that was the fact that his desperation, commitment to making not only the first save, but the second save was there as well. So great call. So Martian, your 2 Central standouts. You got Josh Norris and Matt Murray. I'm going to stick with the defensive aspect, and I'm going right back to the Artem Zub pair. And as much as maybe Pilsey's going to take this other guy, but I'm going to go with Nick Holden, the hometown boy playing in Edmonton, because again, the long stick I thought was a really big part of the defensive play for Ottawa tonight. I thought Holden did a fantastic job of angling guys off into the corner. And for a team that at the start of the year needed defensively sound defensemen so bad, they had a couple unbelievable performances that I wanted to highlight. So absolutely, I'm giving it to Artem Zub and Nick Holden tonight. Pilsey, who are you wrapping up our Central standouts with?
Yeah, I like that. That second pair, you need someone that can shut down those elite superstars, and they did that. So they definitely deserve those honors. I already talked about Brandstrom, and I don't want to repeat kind of the same breakdown. He would have been my pick, so I'll go to my next guy. And hey, look, Adam Gaudette, 2 points. He doesn't get a lot of playing time, and now again, DJ Smith gave him a shout out, said he's a good shooter, and he is. When he gets the time and space, I think he can get things done. He's kind of like Alex Galchenyuk, guys? Like
A little
when
bit. Same number, too.
Same number, honestly. Yeah, like in the offensive zone, you're like, ooh, he could really do some work here. But in the neutral zone and in the defensive zone, you're like, when's he going to get off for a change? Like maybe head towards the bench ASAP. But I really liked his game, and I thought that line of Formenton, Tierney, and Gaudette, that just ended up working out so well. So great to see Gaudette relish the best opportunity of his life.
Yeah, I tweeted earlier tonight that I thought that like tonight was an important game for Gaudette to go out and prove that he could do what he needs to do to like stay in the lineup consistently for the coaching staff. So I don't know. He took that penalty early, and then
I know,
that
was a bad one too.
But then you forget all about that with the goal, right?
Yeah.
So
and an apple.
Yeah, and an apple.
So the Ottawa Senators are undefeated since Nick Paul says they want to go on a run. Martian, have they given you pause in the last 2 games to be like, man, I don't know if this team's going to lose?
They've been playing extremely well.
I'm trying to cut
I know.
the way out.
And you're talking to the right guy to do that, because I've always been more on the positive side, I feel like. So I probably would technically lean that way just by default.
Martian, their next opponent is the Buffalo Sabres, just so you know.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
we'll
so
see if that goes
allegedly,
out.
yeah.
You could definitely, I mean, go on a run for sure. Like we saw at the end of last year, they're capable of doing it. I don't think that they're incapable of doing it. Are they going to make the playoffs? Probably not. So everybody will say like, well, what's the point of winning games? Well, it's fun to watch wins, in my opinion.
Fun to win
I
games.
almost dropped an F-bomb.
It is fun to win games, man.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
right
fun
with
to
you on
win.
that. Life of Seb saying that Gambrell's helmet should be first star of the game. Crazy that's basically what the game comes down to. Josh Norris' second of the game is the winner. Tim Whalen asking the question everybody needs the answer to. If they go on the Hamburglar run, what are people throwing on the ice?
I don't know.
Rice Krispies, maybe?
Ooh, Krispies. I don't think you should leave that
up to us.
Yeah, that's good.
I think it should just be something just that comes naturally. I don't think we could leave it up to us in the podcast.
Yeah, especially tonight. We'll say JMO and beers, maybe. But no, in all seriousness, let's work on getting back into the arena before we worry about what we're throwing on the ice. The Senators, think about what's been going on here over this last stretch. The Senators haven't played a home game in what feels like forever. How long's it been? Since the shutout win over the Tampa Bay Lightning, December 11th.
I was there for that. It feels like forever ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So since then, you're looking at a team that's 3-2-1, all on the road against some pretty good teams in the mix there. And you're allegedly coming home for the game. We'll wait and see if that goes on against Buffalo. That would be on the 18th. But then this road trip coming up afterwards is going to be pretty tough in Pittsburgh, in Washington, and then finishing off in Columbus. So there's a stretch time here where we don't know when this dozen Sens games are going to be rescheduled. So what are they going to do with this ground that they have to make up? Because they're so far out of it right now, but they have so many games in hand. So as of right now, you just have fun watching the team play games and have few wins. And how about the poetic nature that Cody Ceci took the penalty to lead to the game-winning goal.
Did you guys see dump him behind the net tonight? I clipped it on my Twitter account in case you missed it.
Did you? We'll retweet it right now. Take us through the play.
Well, Stützle was having a real physical shift in the offensive zone. The puck came behind the net, and Cody Ceci collected it, and Stützle ended up managing to get there on time to lay the body on him, and he just kind of hit him kind of blindside a little bit, but like it was just a good hit.
Sens playing physical hockey. Gotta love it.
What is your take, Pilsy, on DJ Smith starting the Gaudette line, the Gambrell line every single period?
My initial take is, wait, can I do this quick enough that it's going to be effective?
Well, it always results in an offensive.
Like, that's such a Guy Boucher move, being like, all right, I know I have a top line that's firing at an unbelievable rate. I know I've got Tim Stützle, a superstar in the making, but you know what I'm going to do? throw out that checking line with a grinder, a guy who has one goal all year, and whoever else is on their line at the time. That's the line I'm going to start every single period off with. But hey, I think the boys rally around it, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I don't mind it because 2 games in a row, it resulted in an offensive zone faceoff.
Yeah, true.
But the thing that they did tonight that I didn't really like was when that offensive zone faceoff came like 10 seconds into the game. It was like a quick icing call immediately. They didn't change. They should have just, put up the more offensive line.
That's a good time to get the first line out there. Yeah,
I was kind of like, I expected that. They did their job, got an offensive zone faceoff. 10 seconds, that's fine.
Pillsy, it actually reminds me of a different Sens coach. Pulling it up right there.
Okay,
Paul McLean used to put out Zach Smith, Colin Greeding, and Chris Neal after every single goal for and to start every period. And you're like, sometimes after a goal, maybe just keep the Spezza line out there. Maybe that's the play, but he just
loved that Greeding speed.
Yeah, he loved. I mean, the East Coast boys as well. But that we shouldn't just gloss over Tim Stützle's game tonight either, because it's his birthday. Happy 20th birthday to Timmy Superstar. And not only that, but a year anniversary of his first NHL game. So tonight he was physical as well. And not only that, but he had a soft little assist too. So I would say all in all, like he would be just on the outs. Him and Shabbat, I'd say, are the 2 guys who we didn't mention in Sens Central standouts who would be the next 2, because I thought they both played great as well.
Yeah, and coming off COVID too, they usually say that it's the stamina is the thing that everybody kind of worries about when they're coming off of COVID. And tonight it didn't look like he was struggling at all in that department. I don't know what you guys
the boys
saw.
got him a bike, right? So he was able to at least keep the cardio up. And I think Timmy was one of those guys, thankfully, that he said he didn't really have any symptoms. So sure, it's tough. You're not on the ice, but a young guy, and if he's keeping his cardio up, it seemed like it didn't slow him down too much, thankfully.
No, not at all. So the Sens are feeling good. And do you take any, pause in the fact that the Oilers have now 2 wins in their last 14 games, or this is still just a huge road win for the Ottawa Senators, Pills?
Huge road win. I mean, Russ, our goal was to have at least not both McDavid and Draisaitl get multi-point nights, and they achieved that. McDavid not even on the score sheet, and then Draisaitl only with 1 assist. And McDavid had 7 shots. Like, Murray had his number. Like, there was multiple chances where McDavid had good opportunities to score, and he couldn't get it past Murray. So I think this is a great road win by the Senators. And hey, for once, they took advantage of the backup goalie situation, and they really made Stuart Skinner's life pretty awful, and they didn't even need a lot of shots to do it. They just capitalized on good opportunities. So this was just an awesome, awesome win. And if you're the Edmonton Oilers, sheesh. I don't like
Sean Foisey.
Yeah, exactly. Don't even bother going for Kane. You're not making the playoffs. Like, don't bother adding rentals.
No, but what do you think about the fact that, or do you think the Sens got a coach fired tonight in Dave Tippett?
It's close.
Yeah. How many years are left on his deal? Because Ken Holland's not a guy that likes to fire the coach just to send a message, I don't think. And Tippett was his guy, so.
I don't know.
Good question, but I feel like they're at the point where they got to do something drastic. And it seems like the Evander Kane thing's got a lot of things going on that are preventing it from actually happening, probably. Yeah. So.
Unreal. Pillsy, final thoughts after a huge win for the Ottawa Senators. What's your overwhelming impression? What are you going to take into tomorrow and feel good about when the Sens head home?
I just can't believe they were able to score 5 third-period goals. Like, that's unheard of for this Ottawa Senators team. And they just came out firing, and they were able to get those momentum goals, Ross, like we always talk about. Usually they go in the other team's favor. This time the Sens were able to pick it up at the second half, and secondary scoring was a big part of this too. Sure, Josh Norris got 2 goals, but that makeshift line of Tierney, Formanton, and Gaudette, hats off to them. They really showed that this team has depth scoring, and maybe you got to turn the blender on a couple times to find it, but it ended up working out.
Unreal. Martian, last words?
The Sens are going streaking, baby.
Ooh.
It's time to pack up and go on a run. The Ottawa Senators sweep Alberta after spending a full week there. Land in Edmonton, have their game postponed, go to Calgary, pick up a 4-1 win over a hot Flames team, and then right back up and beat the team with the top 2 scorers in the National Hockey League. As Pilsy mentioned, 5 third-period goals. The Ottawa Senators win 6-4, and we appreciate everyone in the chat. Hit us with a Go Sens Go in the chat after a back-to-back stellar performances from the Ottawa Senators. For Levitan Martian and Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. This has been the Postcast, presented by the Locked On Senators podcast, which you can find wherever you download your podcast after each and every Ottawa Senators game all season long. Let's hope there's plenty more wins to dissect on the way. Thanks so much to everyone for joining us in the chat. Next time, hopefully we'll be against Buffalo on home ice, but we can confirm you will hear us on LOSP on Monday. So stay tuned for all that. For the meantime, follow the show on Twitter at Send Central, on Instagram, lockedon.senators, and don't forget to follow the Martian as well at Levitan Martian. Again, the Sens win 6-4. Good night, everyone. Enjoy your weekends.